Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you herbal formulas. We have learned the basic knowledge of TCM before, and today I will introduce herbal formulas to you, another key point of TCM. In this section, I will give you a short introduction to herbal formulas, basic knowledge of herbal formulas, and one short herbal formula. In nature, we know that many mammals, especially gorillas, resort to plants for their discomfort. We humans shared this behavior and gradually developed the science of herbal formulas. The earliest book still existing of herbal formulas is Prescriptions for 52 Kinds of Diseases, which is called 52病方 in Chinese. This book, excavated from Ma Wangdui tombs in Changsha City in 1973, was formed between the spring and autumn period and warring states period, about 770 years BC to 220 years BC, and contained 197 formulas. This book was earlier than the inner canon of Huangdi. Next, I'm going to introduce to you some basic knowledge of herbal formulas. Let's look at the first key point, herbal formulas and their therapeutic methods. Before we learn it, we should sort some words out and figure out the differences between symptom, syndrome, and disease. Look at the paragraph below. The black dots are symptoms. Different syndromes are formed by several same or different symptoms, and all the syndromes form one kind of disease. From the paragraph, we can conclude that patients with the same disease may have different syndromes, so they should receive different prescriptions. We can see that therapeutic methods are based on syndromes, and formulas are according to therapeutic methods. Therefore, correct diagnosis of the syndrome pattern is very important. Let's look at the following examples. A male patient, 25 years old, has had a fever for 2 days with chills, stiffness, headache, thin white tongue coating, and floating pulse. And next, also a male patient, 25 years old, has had a fever for 2 days with slight chills, headache, sore throat, cough, thirst, thin yellow tongue coating, and floating pulse. The symptoms of these two patients are similar, but their syndrome patterns are completely different, so they should receive different therapeutic methods. With a wind-cold exterior syndrome, the first patient should take formula for Ma Huang Tang. With a wind-heat exterior syndrome, the other patient should take formulas of Sanju Yin. It isn't too difficult to understand, isn't it? On the basis of different syndrome patterns, there are 8 therapeutic methods in TCM, which are diaphoresis, emesis, purgation, reconciliation, warming, heat clearing, resolution, and invigoration. And according to the 8 therapeutic methods, there are 19 kinds of herbal formulas. There are 4 composition rules of herbal formulas: principal, adjuvant, auxiliary, and conductant or moderator. The principle of herbal formulas provides the principal curative action for the major problem, as the king governs its kingdom. The adjuvant has 2 kinds of actions: to help strengthen the principal curative effect and to exert the principal curative effect on a combined or complicated condition. The auxiliary has 3 kinds of actions: to relieve secondary symptoms to temper the drastic action of the principal ingredient and to act as a corrigent. The conductant or moderator has two meanings, responsible for directing the drug's effect to the affected meridian, and the moderator moderates the drug's effect. We should be aware of the fact that herbal formulas are not immutable in clinics. According to the complexity of clinical findings, constitution, and age of patient, as well as weather and environment, herbal formulas can be appropriately modified. By changing the herbs, the dose of herbs, or the dosage form, we can modify herbal formulas and choose the best formula for the patient. There are different dose forms of herbal formulas: decoction, powder, pill, paste, wine, etc. Let's take manhuangtang for example. It has only 4 ingredients: ephedra, cinnamon twig, bitter apricot seed, and licorice root. Ephedra, the principal as well as the conductant of this formula, has 3 functions of inducing sweating, dispelling wound cold, and anti-asthma. Cinnamon twig, the adjuvant of this formula, has 2 functions of enhancing the sweating action of ephedra and warming up the body to alleviate headache or general ache due to cold. Well, bitter apricot seed, the auxiliary of this formula, has the function of alleviating cough and asthma. And licorice root, the moderator of this formula, had the function of moderating the action of other ingredients. The whole decoction used in the condition of wound cold exterior syndrome applies to the following symptoms: chills and fever with no sweating, headache, general ache, cough, asthma, thin white tongue coating, and floating tense pulse. And the clinical applications are the common cold, influenza, chronic bronchitis, bronchial asthma with exterior excess syndrome, etc. Okay, that's the end of this section. See you next time. Goodbye.